Maction. Maction. Maction.
You think we spent a long time on Conference USA? You just wait. No,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
kidding.
We're ready. I mean, this is our hometown.
Oh, you want me
This
to
is our
just
home
jump in?
conference here.
You want me
Yeah,
to
jump
just
over
okay,
your
okay.
sleeper here.
So my sleeper, I thought you were gonna set it up. That's my bad. The sleeper that I have for this conference is the Ohio Bobcats. Now I know they're fifth, but they're fifth in the MAC. So let me just say this. They are one of those teams that may not win the conference, but I think they're going to turn some heads. I mean, they've always kind of lingered there. I think they had like one absolutely terrible year. But honestly, I think Ohio can finish second or third in this conference.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're kind of hit hard by the portal a little bit, but in this conference, you really have to think about teams that are winners. And that's what Ohio does a lot. Like, they managed to stay up there. And even for all the losses, they still managed to bring a decent amount of guys back. Like, people worry about the running back situation. When the guys hit the portal, like they opted out of the bowl game, people were like, oh no, this bowl game's gonna be a disaster for them. And then a running back came out of nowhere, ran for like 5 touchdowns on Georgia Southern. Like, and they won the bowl game in a blowout. So I think this team knows how to reload, and yeah, I agree that they'll be right in there. But that's not who I took as my sleeper. I dug a little bit deeper in the standings, and I went with the Central Michigan Chippewas. Jim McElwain is still there, which is kind of funny. Finally, weird controversies managed to follow him to Central Michigan with the whole Connor Stallions on the sideline thing. But on the field, I think this team's ready to make a jump. The hire of Paul Petrino as an offensive coordinator just was a disaster for them. The run game disappeared, and that put too much pressure in the passing game, and it just all collapsed. He's gone. I think McElwain's going to call the plays because they haven't named an offensive coordinator yet. So I am picking the offensive coordinator less team to surprise, but with Burt Emanuel Jr., who is an electric factory at quarterback, make sure you check him out when you get a chance to see him play. This team's going to be able to rise a little bit and, maybe not win the conference, but I think they'll enter contention a little bit.
I dig it. I guess we can both agree on busts.
Yeah, we agreed on this one.
Northern Illinois.
Let's hear your reasoning.
I don't know. It's like an eyeball thing. Like the more I watch them, the more I don't think they're as good as Ohio. And if I don't think Ohio can really compete with Miami, but can like kind of hang with Toledo and BG, like I think Northern Illinois is clearly behind them. And then I agree with you on Central Michigan. I think they can turn some heads this season too. But Northern Illinois, the eye test just seems like they're lacking that talent, or at least depth.
Yeah, for me, it was just, it was kind of hard to pick one here because I kind of like a lot of the teams in the top of this conference. But for me, Northern Illinois just has not been able to string together consistent good years in a while. I mean, you look back at their records, it is just, a roller coaster, up and down, up and down. They have not put back-to-back winning seasons together in a while. So that has me a little bit concerned. And obviously, for the first time in what feels like a decade, Rocky Lombardi is no longer their quarterback. Although,
yeah, he's the Bengals' soon-to-be practice squad quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, although he missed games here and there, so it's not like if it's a new thing having a different quarterback. But you still know how it's going to go.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I we'll see. But yeah, of all the teams, I just have a little less faith that they can stay up there and not kind of have that random regression again. finally onto the conference championship.
So I got Miami over Bowling Green, and I hate to say it because I'm a Bowling Green homer. Shout out Bowling Green, paid you a lot of money to teach me pretty much nothing. But yeah, I like Bowling Green a lot. They returned a lot of people, but Miami, they just got it going. I think Chuck Martin has got his motor running. Um, I think finally he's figured out how to get kids in there and then coach them to their potential. Now they are missing the best kicker in college football. I understand that. So their special teams may take a hit, but I think
Hey, at least
overall,
he's still one of the best punters in college football.
yeah. I do think that like it's bar none Miami at this point. Like I think that the coaches poll points, I think there should have been a bigger gap between Miami and Toledo.
Yeah, I mean they've got a lot going on. It was very hard to not pick them here, but in the end I decided, Miami does have a pretty tough schedule. Like, their first 3 games of the season are, they play Northwestern, they play
Win,
Notre Dame, they play Cincinnati,
loss, win.
and then they get done with that. They play 1 game against UMass, and then
Win.
immediately enter the conference play at Toledo.
Loss.
They have to go on the road to Toledo and Bowling Green, which is going to be tough.
Yeah.
And if things go wrong early, it may make it difficult for them to gain momentum.
Yep.
And then the other thing too is that this is a team that loves to sit on their defense and run a slow pace offense. That's not a bad thing. I like how they like to grind down teams, but it also means some games to be unnecessarily close, which leaves them vulnerable for an upset, especially on Tuesday, Wednesday night action.
Yeah. But nothing will
so-
ever beat that Miami Bowling Green game where that like fog just rolled into the stadium and then just sat only in the stadium.
I know that was peak action. It was amazing.
No, like it was foggy, and then all of a sudden, all the fog just gathered inside the stadium, and then outside the stadium there was no fog. It just for whatever reason all just collected and then started misting a little bit, and the refs blew the game by a Miami player like trapping the ball on the ground, even though it was clearly incomplete.
You have not let that go, have you?
Not even a little bit. But
You know what's funny? So Miami's coach that year, that was when they made that out of nowhere run to the MAC championship, to winning it. That coach accepted the job at Pitt, got fired 16 days later, and completely vanished from college football. Has not been heard from since.
well,
But anyways,
sometimes you got to go out in a blaze of glory.
I gotta get to my actual pick here. So, with that being said, it's down to Bowling Green and Toledo, and what I decided? I decided I'm going to speak this into existence here. Bowling Green to win the MAC championship. This is finally the year they are back atop the conference. It is time. They have quarterback back. They have 2 quarterbacks back. They have the mobile Camden Orff and then Connor Bazelak, who's going to be the main starter. They have offensive coordinator back. They have the coach back. I mean, they return a lot. So this team is finally ready to get after it and win the conference. Toledo's not going to be easy. Toledo may even win the first matchup, win all the chips are on the table. I have Bowling Green winning the conference. Let's go.
That's really good for us. Because then we get to brag a little bit about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if they even make it, it'll be a lot of fun because we'll probably try to go.
Oh yeah, probably. Any other comments on the MAC?
Yeah, I think that's about it for the MAC. Other than talking about, we'll put a bow on this by talking about Eastern Michigan because we haven't yet. I just have to say that they have one of the best coaches in college football, and there's not enough recognition for it. Chris Creighton has done an incredible job there. Like before he got there, this was one of the bottom programs in this conference. Like they were down there with Akron and Kent State, really just struggling to find any direction. And now they're in a bowl game pretty much every year. Maction.